All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate it. I got two dear, good, bearded brothers up on the show here. So I appreciate everyone. Those of you who are coming in, I'm saying hello to you. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Say hello on your way in. And let us know where you're checking in from. So hit all that kind of good stuff. And let me welcome my guests again. Brother Lamar, introduce yourself if you would for us.
My name is Lamar Hall, reside in Houston, Texas, 53 years old. That's about
it. Brother, you got more than that. All right. Dr. B, if you would.
My name is Dr. B. I reside in Waterbury, Connecticut. I'm 61 minus 1. I'm following Lamar's pattern here.
All right, these guys are Captain Humbles here today, man. So I really appreciate you guys coming on. Said it before, I'll say it again to give people their flowers. I appreciate you guys. You guys are well spoken, well knowledge. 53 years of experience, as well as 60 minus 1 years of experience in the dating and mating game and in the marriage game. We've all been through it, and I appreciate you guys coming on to the show. I really appreciate it. You guys are definitely an encouragement.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This is the fourth installment. And we're going to be talking about. So before the ladies talked about exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. What the ladies are doing wrong and what the men are doing wrong. Last time I had you guys on, Brother Stacy was here. He can't join us today, but we're going to talk about. Before we talked about what the men are doing wrong, and now we're going to kick the hornet's nest. And brothers are going to talk about what the sisters are doing wrong and what we can do in this day and time to improve the relationship and the dating between men and women. So this is the fourth installment. If you go over to the podcast page, Dr. L's podcast page, where you're watching this at, there should be a playlist. The other 3 episodes are there. So if you have not watched the other 3 episodes, with 2 of them with the ladies, 1 with the fellas, and of course, this will be the 4th one. This will go in there as soon as we finish this as well. Let me say hello to some of the peoples here. Let's see here. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Yoli's coming up, right? She's going to give us some financial advice. She's trying to hide behind that MBA. I found you. So she's going to come on here and give us some good financial decision-making advice and all that kind of stuff. Rhonda, hello to you. Rhonda's my pit bull there. She's always making sure people hit the like button. I appreciate that. Glorious love from the DMV. See, here we go. Rhonda, I can always count on that. Hit the like button. My girl Les, Deborah Hutchinson, good evening. Rhonda is from Dallas, from the D. Miles is here. Let's see. Happy Sunday, everyone, from the home, the Buckeyes, Ohio players. Jesse Owens. Okay. More with Les. Thank you. Let's see. High vibe, but I can always count on too. Greetings. Hit the like button on your way in to the mod squad, the moderators. Let's see. Please drop the membership link. I don't know how to do that, honestly. When I look at the page, though, it says join, so that should be on there where you can join. And also, that's a good point, because the memberships, we get special videos, and this week we're going to review Dr. Umar Johnson. He's at it again. He's always dropping gems to me, but he was in Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to do. It's kind of a long interview, so I want to review that this week. We're going to do that in members only. Let's see here. Arkansas, checking in from there. All right. All right. So I wanted to get into this. I didn't usually I have some questions here, but I didn't do that today. So we're gonna start with you, Brother Lamar. Give us one thing that you have been frustrated with your time back in the dating market. Actually, you've been divorced. How long you been divorced for? Tell us that, and then
Divorced 9 years. I've had 3 meaningful relationships off and on over that 9 years. I think one of the biggest things over the last 4 years, since I've kind of grown a little bit more, is the timelines. If you have been married before 10 plus years, I don't understand the rush to jump back into these manufactured relationships again instead of having a companion. It's always, I can meet a woman and by date 2 or date 3 is like, well, who else are you talking to? And it's like why do we focus on that as opposed to being the best version of yourself and see if we are compatible? Because it's not, I wouldn't expect you to do it, where if you got a guy or something like that on the side or whatever, and we just get to know each other, I wouldn't expect you to stop talking to him, just overnight. It's kind of like, I don't understand that. So it's like a lot of us going into our first marriage, we don't really know exactly what we need or we want. We do it at an early life. The second one, you're supposed to take that time by yourself and grow as a person and figure out what you truly need. And it's hard to do that, especially with women over the age of 35, because they are remembering what they had prior, and they want to jump right back into that. And it's like, why don't you take this time to reinvent yourself? You only get 1 or 2 times in your life to really reinvent yourself and kind of say, this is who I used to be. This is who I want to be now, and then work towards that goal. And it's like we just regurgitating the same thing over and over again. And it's like, how can we get out of that cycle to get to this level of companionship and friendship that will ultimately draw us together in a relationship and or marriage? But we can never get there because we're trying to put the cart before the horse sometimes.
Taking time to get to know themselves. Okay, very good, very good. And yes, I do know how to pronounce Arkansas. I do know that. I realize that, and I don't say Illinois either. It's Illinois. I understand that. So, all right. Dr. B, you are the counselor here. You obviously are counseling ladies. What is it that you're seeing and hearing about the dating market in particular?
The dating market is in trouble because a lot of people, as Lamar said, they get out of one relationship and jumping into another one. And the problem is a lot of people don't heal. So when you don't heal from a vicious, toxic relationship, you will bring the inception of diseases into the next relationship. And so people are not used to being alone because guess what? They don't like themselves. That's really the bottom line. They don't like themselves because when they put the mirror on themselves, they also see the trauma. They also see the drama that they came out of at the childhood. That's a lot of people just want to keep going from dates to dates and not healing from date to date or relationship to relationship. So it's really taking that time to heal properly. I was talking to a young lady today, and she said, why do I keep finding these guys who hurt me? And I told her, because you didn't heal from the first hurt. So when you don't heal from that first hurt, you bring that into the next one. And guess what? You usually will find the same type of dude or the same type of girl you just came out of. So that's why it's good to heal from your relationship so that you can do well and not sabotage what God's trying to give you.
Very good. I can appreciate that. I'm going to put something in the chat here. People are not taking the time to get to know themselves and to heal. I like all that. So I'm asking everyone in the chat, put in the chat what you all think the ladies are doing wrong. There was a chat here I wanted to say here. There's a lot of ladies here who are trying to quote unquote move like men. They are trying to date like men. They are trying to have multiple dudes. What are your feelings about that, Lamar?
Women are not designed to do that. It's unfortunate that feminism has brainwashed the average woman into believing that being a man's helper is bad, which, I'm spiritual more than religious, but if we want to go by the book, you were designed to be my helper. Now, if I'm a good man, I think what women get confused is that they're trying to lump all men together. And this is a conversation for men that are good guys. You know, they may not hit the money mark or the height mark or whatever the case may be. There's a good group of men out there that if they have a plan, they lead, follow this man, be his helper, be his assistant. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know where this happened, that this boss mentality and I could do all bad by myself. And I have started to date outside of my race, and that mentality is not perpetuated through their culture.
Dr. B, you want to add to that?
My thing is the man's a leader. That's totally right, like Lamont says. However, I cannot tell my wife to do if I'm not doing first. Because as a leadership, I must be an example of what I want. So many men will cheat on their wives, for example. But God forbid if the wife cheat. But wait a minute, bro. If it's all right for you, how come it's not right for her? So if I'm going to be an example of what I want her to be, then I got to be an example, because for me, it's servant leadership. I cannot tell my wife to do it if I'm not going to be an example of it. I cannot tell my wife to be faithful if I'm not faithful. If I cannot tell my wife to be my ride or die if I'm not her ride or die. I can't do that. And again, it's because of the model that so many of these men have. Many men don't know their fathers. Many men had bad father examples. Daddy was a Rolling Stone, had babies everywhere. So they don't know responsibility. They understand financial responsibility, but they don't understand emotional responsibility. And to be a true husband or true man, I got to do the financial and the emotional. I just cannot do the financial, because a lot of times when men do the financial, it gives them the freedom to say, hey, because I work so hard, I can do all this behind the side. No. How can I show faithfulness if I'm not faithful to the woman that I said I'll be faithful to you for life and death? That's just my opinion.
Okay, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we held the men accountable last time.
Yes, sir.
I want to stick to holding the women accountable.
Okay.
I want to stick to that. Seems to be a big problem with us brothers, is that anytime we start having these conversations, and I've seen it on other platforms, eventually it comes back to, well, what are the men doing?
Well,
I want to hold the women accountable.
My only thing is, yes, there are a lot of things women do wrong. A lot of them are very feisty. A lot of them are very bossy. Okay, a lot of them have this mentality that I can emasculate a man and have no problem. But again, and maybe this is my mentality. Where did that spirit come from? Okay, where did that spirit come from? Where you're in a man's face? Women are not hitting men and justifying it. No. If it's wrong for a man to hit a woman, it's wrong for a woman to hit a man. But now they justify, oh, he can take a hit. No. No, what if you 250 and you hit that man? So
I think it happens all the time. I think Dr. L sees it too, is that what's happening that social media, man, is just really messing all of this up. And the young people, you guys don't play in the pools that I've played. I've had my interactions with younger women, and it's as worse as you can imagine. I mean, I look at my 26-year-old daughter and I use her as a gauge, and I'm kind of like, whew, thank God I did something somewhat right, because some young ladies I've met in my time of dating have just been off the rails, man. And I don't know if it has to get so bad that it just implodes or whatever. I mean, I just saw a video on Instagram. I guess there's a song, some female rapper talking about Lululemon, and there's like 10 girls in Lululemon shaking their ass and all on the floor. And I'm just like, and I'm looking at this from a retailer, because that's what I do for my job. And I'm looking at how these white customers that predominantly shop in this thing are perceiving these young Black women. And it's just like, it's getting out of control, man. It really is getting out of control.
Go ahead.
And for me, it's out of control because many of these girls don't know what it is to be feminine, to be soft. And again, to your point, Dr. L, from my perspective, where was the father at? I know we're talking about women, but a lot of times is that they're emulating what they see. See, this is what women are doing. They're emulating what they see. And so, yes, we got to correct it. No doubt about it. You're giving out your goodies, girl, and the guy ain't even committed to you. Women are proposing to men. Really? So you gonna propose to a man? You're setting the wrong precedent. You're telling the man not to be a man.
Well, that they're deprogramming. You know, they want non-masculine men. That's the agenda.
Yeah,
so, you know, we can go into a lot of different areas of that, but you know, from fashion to music, there is an assault on young Black people in this culture. You know, in the female or the early 90s, it was the young Black male. We all grew up with gangster rap. It is now moved over to their own assault for the young Black woman now.
Yeah.
You know, the young Black woman is out of, I mean, I've heard some rap songs from women. I'm like, oh my, geez, wheeze. Like, I mean, come on, man. There is just some unbelievable stuff. And you have to think about it. What's the 12-year-old, the 13-year-old young lady being?
Well, they're listening, they're watching. Correct.
They're watching that. And they're not being corrected by the 35-year-old grandmama or the 40-year-old grandmama that's saying, nah, this is incorrect. I mean, Cardi B makes songs, but she won't let her daughter listen to it. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
Good
No,
point.
I definitely agree with that. Let me address this right here. Keeps it 100 all the time, at all time. I would like to see content creators go a week without talking about Black women. Let me just say that I can certainly understand that frustration that goes on, but if it's in reference to this show, this is as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, is that this is the 4th installment. I had 2 ladies on before, I had ladies on 2 different shows talk about Black women, or men and women from a lady's perspective, and I'm having the brothers on here to talk. But the first thing they talked about was the men. Now we're talking about the ladies. So this is the 4th installment. It's in the playlist. You can go watch the other 3 episodes. We're equal here. If this was in relationship to us, so what we're doing here. Let me see here. So Dr. B, most church leaders are not teaching this. What's going on with the church? What are y'all doing over there?
Oh, thank you for making me the mascot for all churches. So the problem is, you know, the problem is that a lot of pastors ain't got their stuff together at home. They are shouting in church and they ain't shouting in their bedrooms. Or they go to these conventions and they got 2 keys because they want to give their mistress another key. So that's the problem, is that they're not teaching it because they're not living it. That's number 1. Number 2, we're in a mentality that people are all about getting rich and getting famous and God blessing you, but they're not talking about character. And that's the problem, is that people are not talking about character, because the greatest thing you can give to yourself is integrity, not being a hypocrite. In other words, what I do in public, I do in private. That is the greatest gift. So again, the narrative has changed to don't focus on God, focus on you. And that's the narrative. And that's why we have so many humanism theology. What about me? What about me? No, the way theology works, it's a study of God, not the study of man. That's humanism. Humanism is study of man. Theology is the study of God. But people are coming to church, want to turn it around and no, let's study me. How can I get rich? How can I get blessed? No, by my enemies. No, it's you and God getting more connected so that you can be connected with other people as well. So that's the balance that people are happening. So that's why most churches are jacked up. Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Another comment here. Rhonda put this in the chat. In the question and answer that I wrote on here. I can't see it in the chat here, so I'll read it. A lot of women giving into sex too soon when dating. Too much toxic energy from different men.
That is one thing women are doing bad in. You don't know your value. Ladies, know your value. The Bible says that he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So a good woman will give that man favor like crazy. But the problem is women have been hurt and beat up so bad that they lower their value. And by lowering their value, they'll find all the roaches down there. But if you understand who your value, now, when I say value, I don't mean pride, I don't mean arrogant, and I don't mean narcissism. but it's understanding what I bring to the table. When a woman understands what she brings to the table, she don't open her legs to everybody. Amen. She don't do that. No, no. You put a ring on that thing, bro. Get me married. You have all the buffet you want. Amen. Praise the Lord.
What say you, Lamar? I see you thinking there.
I'm thinking. We are at the age now that we truly understand different generations, and man, it's I know I'm getting older, because to look back, 30, 40 years ago and kind of go, this is how dating was, and there's elements of definitely our culture that they still want that type of love. And because of music and movie and all these social media influences, that type of love is gone. I mean, think about it. There are no more R&B groups. There used to be R&B groups out the wazoo in the 80s and 90s and the 2000s. They're not. So you got to start there. Where has love gone? I remember my brother used to call me lover boy all the time. When I was in high school, he said, man, I don't know nobody to sit around listening to R&B music. But I didn't look at listening to R&B music and equated it to being soft as a man. It was easier to, as a young man, to listen to New Edition and see like, oh, I'm having these feelings about these young ladies, and these men are saying it and expressing it in a way that I can understand. Now that changes to a gangster rap and everybody's a bitch, so that gets perpetuated through how you talk to women.
But again, Lamar, I mean, your point as well is that what's happening, people are moving, and because people are moving, you've seen the byproduct. Women who don't know themselves, men who want to be gangsters, then having a job. So again, the things are changing, but I think the foundation, I know the foundation is still what is right. Because here's the problem, sir, ma'am, women, all right. Here's the problem is that here you want your daughters to be good, but you're going after the men your daughters are going after. What's going on? All right. So things have changed, but truth is truth. Life is life. I mean, and as much as you want to change it, there's some points that you cannot change or move the pivot because it doesn't work. And we see what's happening right now. It's not working. People are committing suicide. People are not happy. People are in relationships, and things are not, when they're not going well, because they are moving from foundational stuff. Foundational is, I cannot fly. As much as I want to fly one day, I cannot fly on my own. I need a plane. I need a helicopter. That's foundational. If I jump off a 6-foot building, I'm going down real quick. That's foundational. The same thing works with relationship. There are certain foundational things. I don't care what you do, they are foundational.
So to that point, New York Chocolate's talking about we talked about holding men accountable, this, that, and the other. Women not holding others accountable. They see them acting ratchet in public, as we mentioned. We see them dancing, doing the Lululemon dances and all this other stuff. The music that they're now making on their own. Speak to that a little bit. Why aren't women holding other women accountable, and can they even do it?
That's a very good point. That if you know your girlfriend's being cheated on, and you got your mouth shut about it, that's wrong. If you know your girl is dating somebody and you see the guy with somebody else and you close your mouth, you're not protecting. And that's what people are not doing. They're not protecting each other. You know why? We're in a dog-eat-dog world. I'll take care of mine, you take care of yours, and my eyes are blind. No, a true sister is going to back up a sister. Why? I can't have you sleep with me on Monday and then I know my girl, you're going to sleep with her on Wednesday. Not a true sister. I'm not doing that. That's just my opinion.
Let's see. High Vibe says, keeping with the same thing, too much Keisha behavior as well. Now, the Keisha is
Who's
defined.
Keisha?
What's that? Yeah, I'm about to define what a Keisha is.
We all know
Keisha. Keisha is Dr. B looking all kind of flustered. They don't know what a Keisha is. Let me explain it to him and to the audience. A Keisha is a girl. Okay. Well, let the young bucks, the 50-year-olds, tell you what it is.
What's a Keisha?
A Keisha is a girl, is a woman who kind of grew up in the hood mentality, hood spaces, goes to school, goes to college, educate yourself. She's usually a minimum bachelor's degree, but a lot of times master's degree. She may even have a PhD, a JD, whatever. Some kind of D is in there, right? And she still maintains the hood behavior of the girls from the block. So that type of behavior where you're in one professional field, but still maintaining a strong presence within the ghetto field, that is what makes somebody a Keisha. And I think the term comes from Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta, although I've never seen her at ghetto. I just think that's where the term Keisha came from.
That actually makes sense, because I can actually see that. And it's not, I don't know what what we as a Black culture shun people for speaking properly or acting, or you're trying to act white. No, I'm trying to act like I have some sense. When does acting like sense equal white? It's like I don't understand it. Like, learn how to speak, and it's really bad if you go to college, because college is supposed to expose you to a bunch of different people, a bunch of different departments. So you're supposed to be the beginning of getting cultured. And to walk out of that, in which most Black women have more degrees than Black men, and still perpetuate that type of behavior. Listen, I go to restaurants in Houston all the time, man, and I see educated Black women, and it's like, why? Why does it have to be this? Why does it have to be all the ass shaking and all the loud clapping and the fans? And why do we have to do this? I don't understand it. And the older I get, it just, I just don't. Maybe I'm getting old. I just don't. My daughter tells me all the time, Dad, that's just how people act. I'm just like, but geez, man, why?
You got any Keishas in your church there, Dr. B? You got any Keishas there?
Apparently, I don't know what you were talking about. So apparently, I don't.
I got $100. Say you do. I got 100. Say you do.
All right. I want to go back to something you said before, Lamar. The reason I brought the Keisha behavior, because if the girls are acting like that and women acting like that in the 40s and 50s, then I go back to to New York Chocolate's comment about them not correcting other ladies because they're doing the same thing, right? So if the 40-year-olds, 40 and 50-year-olds who are still being Keishas are not correcting the 19 and 20-year-olds, it's worse. It's worse, right?
Worse. The younger ones are acting like Cardi B and Lotto and all these other chicks that they admire, and the lingo and stuff like it. I'm telling you, these young ladies, they would call you bro. They would tell you suck my dick. I'm like, they talk ridiculously, and I just look at them like, what happened? To talk to a young lady and she says bro 20 times in the comment, bro. I'm like, what? So that is truly one of the real reasons why I moved my age limit up, because I just could not take the lingo. I just was like, this is horrible. And I'm not going to correct the person. I'm just going to move my goalpost to somewhere else.
I want to bring it back to something you said before about the good man effect, right? Lamar, you said something along the lines of, they are passing up good men. And I think that a lot of times the ladies don't recognize, if you're not in a certain bracket, right, between financial status, between height, and if all the women are chasing those type of men that are in whatever bracket they're looking for, if the vast majority of women are looking for that, they overlook the other men. They're invisible, and you keep getting your heart broken by these certain men, and then you're attributing that to all men. Want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I watch a lot of them different podcasts, and they ask women questions like, would you want a guy that made $90,000 a year that loves you, that really can't, he's going to do his best to get you things, or would you want a millionaire boyfriend that cheated on you? And every woman chose the millionaire boyfriend, because social media perpetuates this thing and go, hey, this is the lifestyle I want. And listen, last week when we were on V's, podcast, man, I am a guy that I don't get a lot of likes on my dating apps, so it's like, and I started to really think about it. It's like, what if I was shorter? What if I was out of shape? What if I didn't, like if I didn't have a beard? Like, there's a greater percentage of those average dudes that no woman even pays attention to. And those guys will be faithful. Those guys really like you, but women don't want that. They will rather be a second or a third to a high value guy, 20% and up, than the other 80% that's going to love them. And that's crazy. That's just a cultural thing. That's what's going on now.
Here's a membership link, Dr. L podcast. Let's get some more members in here. Let's see. Dr. B, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah.
The invisible man problem.
Yeah. The thing is that women are so used to being battered or abused that they are trying to do like a money grab. It's like, you know what? Let me enjoy what I can while I can, because I know it's going to change. And that's the mentality of a lot of these women. It's like, you know what? Let me go for the millionaire because I know it ain't going to last. So let me get something out of it. Versus, you know, I know it's old fashioned, but there's something about love, man. There's something about when I caught COVID, my wife did not leave the room at all. She was hard headed, but the love that she had for me was like, you know what, Negro, you're not going to die on me. If it wasn't for her, I probably would not be here today. That's love. But again, we live in a definition that love is now based on money, not based on the innate or the intangible things. Because in actuality, money will change, but the intangible, the integrity, those things start with N, they will not change. That's true love. That's why when I marry people, I say for sickness and for health, right? For better, for good. Why? Because love is not based on condition. True love is unconditional. That's what true love is. But right now we're in a society that says, as soon as you get broke, as soon as something break, I'm gone. That's not love. That was transactional. And we got to get people back to women, got to get back to what true love is. But the problem is when they're true love, they got these Negroes coming in who hurt them again. So now they say, well, you know what? You hurt me. I'm hurt as many men as possible because I've been hurt so many times. So again, ladies, you got to say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to be like that last dude that hurt me. All right. I'm going to do better. And unless I find someone that lines up with my mentality, with my morals, what I'm going, I ain't messing with them. And that's what you got to do. And not be a Keisha too. I learned a new word today.
That's the word of the day. And let me be very, since we're bringing up Keisha here, let me be very clear. I'm not calling Keisha Lane's bottoms a Keisha. I'm just saying I just thought that's where the name came from. I have never seen in any of her interviews or anything like that her act like a Keisha.
But you can sense it. You know, at the family reunion when she's around her people.
Oh, probably. No, I want to distinguish that between code switching. I mean, we all got a code switch, but I don't think that Keisha is you still doing it in public. When Fannie Willis was on the stand winking at people, that's Keisha behavior. You know, that's Keisha behavior. So
with Dr. B, like, listen, I think there's a greater percentage, equally percentage of bad men versus bad women. I focus on that middle 70 percentile. We can, but that there's the guys that don't make as much money. Those are good guys. The women that want good guys don't look at those guys as opportunity. That's where the disconnect is. So let's say from 0 to 70, these are just average guys. They hit or miss, may look good or not, may be in shape, may be tall, whatever. They make average money. The women in that percentile they don't want that guy. They want him later in life. After she's exasperated all her opportunities to try to get that 20%, then the reality hits and goes, let me fall back on this dude. And too many guys take that opportunity. And that's when you got to be a man of integrity. And if a woman doesn't want to choose you in the beginning, man, don't let her come back. Don't give her that opportunity. If you can look at a woman and go, I think men do a good job of evaluating women, and we know if a woman's out of our range and, hey, man, I'm not dealing with that. I think we self-check ourselves. Women don't have a self-check. A woman could be 300 pounds and she's going to approach a dude that goes to the gym 5 days a week. Why don't you like me? And it's like, but a 300-pound man wouldn't approach a fitness model like that. So that's what I'm saying is like, there has to be some accountability because your happiness lies in your reality. If you are 300 pounds and you think you're a 10 and you going after 10s. Like, man, the proof's in the pudding. It's like, come on, man. I meet too many women, and at this age, I'm meeting women with multiple children, whatever the case may be, and they're still they're 40 plus years old, still thinking they a 10. Like, no, you're not. Like, stop it. Like, where's the reality check? I'm not here to tear down women. I'm not a man. I build up any woman that's next to me. So it's not about that, but I do hold you accountable. Where is your reality? Because I'm a man. I have to live in my reality because it tells me every day. I'm told every day on how I'm supposed to be. But women don't have those guardrails and their correction. And I think that more women step into it. That's why I love Trey and V and women like that hold other women accountable. Like, come on, ladies, what are we really doing?
Yeah, the thing about it, many women have bad support systems. They're bad, so everything around them gonna be bad. So that's why, ladies, you gotta be very careful when you move up the corporate ladder, or you're doing things more. You buying you bought your first house, you bought your first Mercedes. Check your friends. If they're not happy for you, then they're really your enemies. You really got to check that. If they're not celebrating that you are going past their status from single to married or single to engaged, and they're not celebrating you, ladies, you got to watch that. Those are people who are hating on you. Those are the Judases in your life who are waiting to assassinate you. So, ladies, if anything, that is a true litmus test of a friend. If they're not celebrating you when you accomplish something, gots to take you off the train.
Dr. L, so like New York chocolate, she's like, this is not negativity. These are facts that Black men have gotten to a point now that we are older Black men. I was not this mature and self-aware in my 20s and 30s, but by my mid 40s and 50s, listen, the accountability has to be there. It's like women can say things to men that men cannot say to women. I was on a dating app and a woman said, swipe in your lane. And I was like, whoa. And I texted her. I was like, it must be really nice to be a woman, because if I said that, somebody's going to report me and I'm going to get kicked off of this app.
I do think that there is a double standard in holding people accountable. I got to admit that, because I think that's been a problem for too long, is that ladies, I mean, you talk about the things you've seen on the dating apps and in videos and stuff, right? I mean, for a long time, right, women will just proudly say, who would you rather be stuck in the woods with, a man or a bear? Or, going around asking women, do we need men? No. Yeah. Men are useless. Men are good for nothing. I just saw one the other day. Men should automatically start in prison and have to work their way out of prison.
What?
Wow. This is stuff that people are seeing. It's in fact, and I agree. We talked about, somebody put it in the chat here. I got to scroll to find it. Talk about social media. It's infecting our brains to this degree. Why would you even start? I mean, but this is a real conversation that people were having about the bears, starting people in the prison. Every man should be mandatory to go to the military.
But most of those people who say that have been hurt by a man. That's why they say that.
I agree.
But what I'm saying, that's why where are the other women to correct these women? Same thing. Because listen, men correct other men. So let's all rewind a couple of years ago when Kevin Samuels first started. He was directed at men. He didn't get the response that he wanted, because guess what? Men don't really care about that type of stuff. So he had to make it this water cooler type of environment. So he started bashing women. Guess what? The ratings go up. He achieved the goal that he wanted, but the message was there, but he had to wrap it in a way like Jerry Springer. Why do you get mad to watch Jerry Springer and then you get like, why is he saying it like this? Because it's entertainment. You have to first and foremost understand this is entertainment. He has to lock you in. So women go, oh, I don't like Kevin Samuels. He's actually giving you a message, but you got to dig a little bit. He cannot give it to you easily like that. And most people don't want to think. They just want to be fed information. And sometimes you have to pull back the bullshit a little bit and say, what's the real message?
Listen, I can't. 3 years, Kevin Samuels talked to men. Get yourself together. Stop trying to date. get your weight up, working in hygiene, all that. He did that for the videos are still there for 3 years. Listen, we got more people watching today, depending on what I talk about on this platform. This is what we're doing. I did a show about just the other day about healthy eating. 160 people watch it. But I do something about women, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 people watch it. Some of this is your own doing. You are coming to this stuff. The vast majority of my platform are ladies watching this. You want to know what a man's got to say? Is he going to talk about women today? Is he going to bash women? I ain't doing none of that.
Right. And that's what I don't want to be characterizing this on my podcast. I'm not here to bash women. Black women are special, but you guys are being influenced by bullshit. And then you get mad when men kind of go, I'm not going to play this game anymore. And I think as men are starting to share information through social media, because there is a benefit to social media, it is the sharing of information to understand the collective consciousness of people will be changed over time. And I think men are starting to talk to other men and go, hey, bro, you don't have to put up with that. It's like men, I didn't grow up with a father. I never had a father to pull me to the side and say, man, you don't have to listen to the little girl's bad behavior. You don't have to listen to her talk to you like that. I didn't have a man. I had a mother in my house going, you just be a good boyfriend. If I had a daddy, he'd been like, go get you a new one. You don't have to put up with that behavior.
Yeah, but again, that's where, we have to understand, because again, because of the Black woman, what they have done is unbelievable, because so many men, because of racism, because of lynching, because of slavery, the Black woman had to do a lot. There's no doubt about that. That's factual. But in 2025, it's a different story now. And yes, we're talking about women, but again, it's the man being in his right place. And then, ladies, to you, if you find a man in your right place, in his right place, don't fight him. Don't try to be the man when you got a man. I'll say that one more time again. Stop trying to be a man when you do have a man that will open the door, pay the bills, faithful, minister to you mentally and emotionally. Don't beat them down. But again, some of our women are so beat down that the only thing they do is fight. But I'm telling you, ladies, a lot of times you are sabotaging what you really want already. I can't tell you how many times that people come to my office and the woman is just down. All right, true statement. Usually when people come to see me, Lamar, Dr. L, it's the man's fault. The man did something wrong. All right. But by the time they get here, it's usually the women that's so used to his bad behavior, they can't accept he's changed. And so guess what? She now becomes the bad guy, and she's beating him up, and she's going back in the past. And again, it's really, ladies, when you find a guy who is good, who's treating you differently than any other guys that ever treated you, don't sabotage, don't push him away, because now you're the one who are going to be guilty of pushing away what God's trying to give you.
Want to ask, the negativity was not, I want to make sure I clear this up. The negativity was not toward what you were saying, Lamar. It was somebody else in the chat that Neurochocolate was addressing.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Let's see here. I want to ask, talking about what some of the things that women are doing wrong in the dating market. Is it a mistake for women to go to college and not try to pursue a man when they're in college? They want to get their elevated degrees, do 10 years into their careers, and then try to look for a man, enjoying the younger years. What do you guys think about that? We'll go with you first, Dr. B. What do you think about that?
You know what? Whatever your goal is, let it be. Some women are blessed to find men who will work with them and be accorded with them, work with them, and sometimes they're not. So really, whatever your goal is, make it happen. But also know with every goal, there might be something that you may not like in the end. Like with men, it's finding your goal and being honest with yourself. If you fall in love during the process, great. While you're getting your degree. But I tell women all the time, you get what you need to get. And a good sign of the man is the man's right you is that he getting his too at the same time. If you got to stop and pick him up, that's a bad man for you. But you keep doing what you need to do, get your education, get your stuff together, get your FICO score, and you got a man that's going with you, that's a good man. That means he's working with you, not against you. And And so many times women will stop what they're doing. Oh, I got so many stories in my head of women who stopped what they were doing to help their man, but in the process, that man lowered their FICO score, just jacked them up. So women, hear me loud and clear. If you're on a process, you're on a goal, do your thing, girl. Do your thing, boo. But if you find a man that's working with you, trying to do the same thing you're doing, that may be the guy for you as well.
I remember in college, my freshman orientation, and they were like, look to your right, look to your left. Your potential husband or wife is here. And everybody went, ew. By the time your senior year, 30 to 40% of that class was dating or potentially going to be in some type of long-term relationship. I don't think that happens as much. My daughter graduated from the same college I went through the same things. And she came out of it not even having a boyfriend. And so I asked her, I said, me and your mother met in college. What happened? She said, the guys here aren't about anything.
Wow.
And I was just like, how can that be that you went 4 or 5 years at college and you did not run into one decent guy, whether he was at the engineering department or something? But see, those guys are not the guys that most women want. Those are the nerds. Those are the guys that are in their books. Those are the guys that have a purpose for college. They're not there to BS. I went to college to BS. I played basketball and I BS most of the time. So that, I didn't have the money. So, it's like I was kind of in the middle. Some guys had a bunch of money and some guys were engineers and stuff. Like, it's just women, I don't know. They're not looking for it. And then there's going to always be that up and down, good guy, bad guy type thing. So me personally, I don't focus on the extremes of those scenarios. I try to focus on the common middle ground of why aren't the common people finding companions? I know there's going to be a percentage of women that are highly attractive and there's going to be a high of men. They're going to abuse the system. But what about the average people? Why aren't they connecting and finding love?
Very good. Kids with playtime, and let's address this to the Black community overall. As a Latino dating Black man has been the worst experience for me, hence why I'm single. To be honest, in the Latino community, we embrace marriage. Black men also are no walk in the park too. Do we not focus enough on marriage, and how do we change that? I'll start with you, Dr. B, since you are the counselor in that area. What's up with our culture? How come we don't embrace marriage?
Yeah, the problem is so many people have had bad experiences. I mean, my first marriage was not overall a good experience at all, but it was because of my lack of knowledge. And so a lot of people, because of what they experienced, what they saw with their parents, they are afraid to marry because they don't want to have the same prototype of their parents. So again, as you have learned how to be a better person, as you have learned how to invest, as you have learned how to have a better FICO score, learn how to be a better you. Because when you are a better you, then you make yourself a better partner in marriage down the road. But again, we got people that don't believe in integrity, don't believe in honesty, don't believe in faithfulness. They just believe I'm going to do me. And if you don't like it, then get off the ship and find somebody else. That's the problem. Good marriage is submission to each other. I submit to my wife and my wife submits to me. I cannot stand happy wife, happy life. That don't work for me. The way it should work is, yes, happy wife, husband to the wife, happy husband, the wife does a husband, and then together we have a happy life. That's how it should work.
Everything's a partnership, but the happiness. Everything's 50-50, but the happiness. Your happiness as a man doesn't matter as much. Just pay the bills and shut up. So it's like, that type of culture, man. I don't listen. I think young men need to make themselves interesting. I got married at 24 years old. If my 24-year-old self would be in front of my 53-year-old self right now, I would say, absolutely not, son. You need to go and figure out life, get some experiences, and then be able to come back and know yourself first. So the journey looking inward and figuring out what's going to make you happy or make you have purpose in this life is up to you. And as a man, if you don't do that first, you're always going to be lost. And if you don't need to pick a woman and try to figure it out with her, you need to figure it out on your own. And then go be able to choose a wife because you have really done the work on yourself and you go, hey, I need this type of love or I need this type of partnership. But you don't know that under your 20s. It's like that. So I got a nephew who's 13 years old and my sister is kind of let me have a little influence on him, I'm going to turn him into a monster, because he's like, dude, you don't have to accept this. Keep doing, grind. About 35 years old, you get all of that play out of you. Then that cheating goes down dramatically because you're grown as a man. When you've partied and partied and partied, I didn't do any of that. I just realized that from 45 years old to 53. Now I can spend a Friday and a Saturday in the house and don't feel anything about it. So I'm reliving my 20s when I was married and doing things like that in my 40s. And I burn out on it. I'm going like, man, I don't leave my house at all sometimes. And it's just, a man has to get to that point. And then he starts to go, who do I want to share my life with? And he becomes a better man.
Do women have to qualify themselves? You talked about men know that they need to be interesting. We know we need to hit the gym. We know we got to get jobs. Do women think along the same lines? That they need to do anything? And
no. No. This sounds very frank, and I don't think women have a meter on them of reality, because, and I'll just use my personal thing. I get approached by some women and I look at you and go like, there's no way that you could look at you and look at me and say that we look good as a couple. If we walk in somewhere, somebody's gonna be like, how in the hell did those two get together? Women don't do that, but a man will do that. A man will absolutely do that. A 300-400 pound man is not gonna walk in. Now, if you see that guy with a really, really fine girl, what's the first thing we think? That dude got a lot of money. And that's not the way. So a big old woman, she ain't self-correcting herself. Ain't no woman looking at themselves going, I'm a 5, I'm a 6. Everybody thinks they get 10. So it's like, where's the reality? Men don't walk around thinking like that. Men don't look at themselves and go, man, I know I'm a baddie. I know I'm this. I know that. I'm not saying no men does it, but that's a very small percentage of men. I don't think any of us on this panel in our entire lives have carried ourselves like that. Men don't do it.
Dr. B, I know you got to go. Did you want to add something before you go?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. L. Thank you, Lamar, for letting me be in your presence. I'm honored. I'm the old dude here that don't know nothing about Keisha, but thank y'all very much. Ladies, please, I like the comment of the young lady that says, love the one that loves you. Ladies, stop begging a man to love you. Stop begging a man to stay, because that's devalue you. That devalues you like crazy. Find someone that will love you for who you are, what you bring to the table, and that will start it. Again, know your value. Know your value. When a woman understands her value by herself, she starts to come to the top, because men love women that know their value. True men that got themselves together. Why? Because he's all about building his portfolio. And a good man wants to build his portfolio with a woman that brings value, not subtracts his value. So that's why women, you have to know your value, know where you're going, know how you get there, and take it from there. So again, thank you, Lamar. Thank you, Dr. L. Appreciate you. I got to go another call, do some more virtual counseling. God bless you guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
So I wanted to ask you, Lamar, what makes a woman wife material?
Being feminine, being supportive. I guess it starts with a man too. If he has a plan, that she is supporting the plan, the dream. If she can be a helper, if she can be his encourager. It's not, to me, it's not hard for a woman to please a man. I think we're very, very simple creatures. I think that women have been taught not to really pay attention to us, that it's all about me, and that's fine. I'm okay with that too. But sometimes you have to learn your man. And then the marriages and things that I have noticed over my years that have been successful and healthy, I see a little bit of the woman that takes a lot more interest in the man's habits and hobbies other than her own. Sometimes she puts him a little bit ahead of herself and makes him feel truly like the head of the household. So now at 53 years old, what I look for is compatibility and a true friendship. Not that I didn't have friendship in my marriage. It's just that, but I'm looking for this best friend type of thing. Like I want to hang out with her more than I want to hang out with my boys. You know, I want to tell her my things more than I tell my boys. Her being more my confident that I can open up and give her, I guess, my secrets and my hopes and my dreams, that I don't have to be ridiculed or, you know, judged for it, you know, or used against me in the past. You know, in my marriage, we have an argument, you know, and that argument somehow, some way turns into, well, your mama didn't do this, you know, and it's like, how do we get to that point? You know, it's like, you know, and it's like, I stop sharing. Once you start talking to me like that, I don't share secrets with you no more, because I can't trust you with my heart. So,
we kind of went off there. Is there anything else that you think that women are doing wrong? Before we went off?
I mean, again, the social, and again, are we talking our age group, or are we talking in general?
Well, that's a good question. Somebody did ask about dating, how long, so somebody in their upper ages, 40s, 50s, and 60s, how long should they date? And I wasn't clear, and maybe they could clarify it. If they're asking before marriage or before they get intimate, what would you say to both of those?
I'd say in a marriage type of case, if you're dating someone in excess of a year and a half, that man has put you in a potential bucket or a for sure bucket, you know, because I think at our age, a year and a half is a long time to be in a relationship.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've been dating on and off, and my longest relationship was 4 years, and the other one's, 2 years. So if I don't make the 2-year mark, I'm just kind of like, like, I don't really like making decisions with women or even talking future until we get almost to that type of point. And a lot of women get offended by that. And I'm like, you got to look at it from my standpoint. It's like, if I've been dating, I don't want to have these type of future conversations all the time, and they never materialize to something. It's like building a house, but we never can get past the foundation. It's like, it's like we start good, but we got to complete this house. And I think the thing with dating, the goal is, if you're trying to gauge intimacy, I think that's just a personal preference of what you feel comfortable with. I tell women all the time, they're like, well, I'm not going to be, I said, listen, you could go out and sleep with a different dude every night. Who knows? That's up to you to decipher what you feel. So I always say like this, if you have a great time with somebody, if you really enjoyed talking to them, leading all the way up to that time, if it happens naturally, it happens. Don't feel like this man is like he's running back to the cafeteria to tell all his friends. It's like, we're not kids anymore, guys. It's like this 90-day waiting and you 52 years old. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not going to play these sexual games. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for you to go into it and say you automatically wait 90 days, to me, that's very immature at this stage of our life.
Very good. I can appreciate that. I want to, let's see. Here's a good point by Kids Playtime with Lily. I think women also put a lot on men to make them happy. Happiness comes from within. What you can't do for yourself, don't expect him to do. We need to raise better girls. Diddy's case example. If you run into that a lot, women looking to you to make them happy. One thing I can't stand is I gotta be your entertainment. I don't want to be your entertainment. Don't come to me telling me you're bored.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not I agree. It's not my goal to make you happy, and that's why over the last couple of years, my lead questions with someone is, have you been to therapy? I'm asking that off the rip. So if you have not been to therapy or you don't think you need to go to therapy, automatic red flag. I'm really not going to carry on much more conversations with you after that. So I think what I've learned over time is just the appropriate questions to ask if I am going to give this any of my time, because my time is valuable and I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time discussing things that you should already have worked on.
So in their 50s or so, this is last name's point, 40s, 50s, at a certain age, should they just give it up willy-nilly? How does that benefit her?
No, I don't think anybody should give up. I think what we're holding on to is a 2000s, 90s type of love. And I don't know if you get that at 50 or 60 years old. I think depending on how long you've been by yourself, do you really, start to ask yourself, I've lived by myself for 4 years. So now I'm starting to have this phase where, do I want to live with somebody? Do I want somebody in my space 100% of the time? And most women would automatically say, yes, they do. And then you have to look at it and say, be real with yourself. This is where the looking in the mirror and the really saying, do you want to see me every day now? Or do you like living by yourself? Do you like sitting by yourself sometimes? And if the answer to either one of those is yes, there's a different reaction. No is a different reaction. But I don't know. I just don't know if being married is the goal, anymore like that. It's like, I've done marriage. I've been with somebody for 25 years. Now, if you've never been married and you're in your 50s, you had ample time during your life to make a decision. I believe you have. And for whatever reason, you didn't, or you didn't have children, or you don't, whatever, men or women. This is not just women, this is everybody. So when you get to our age and you have to live with the decisions you made or you didn't make, and you have to go appropriate. So if you're 50 or 60 years old and you're still dreaming on getting married, why? Why are you still dreaming that way? You should be dreaming on how can you wake up and have quality time with somebody. Hopefully that turns into every day. And as that turns into every day, then you turn into that man's peace. And then that man goes, I really want to spend the rest of my life with you. That's how men think. I think at this age, I think that that's the natural progression. But when you come in hot, and you're all about what are we doing here? And I'm not gonna waste my time. And I ain't great. Man, men are like, why? Why can't we let things work themselves out? I'm not planning anymore. I'm about to be 53 in 10 days. And I don't plan tomorrow because I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. So it's like, I'm in that danger zone. So why am I going to plan a relationship? And it hasn't proven itself to me.
I think that's a difficult decision for men because particularly at this age, we have been down that road, as you mentioned. We have made the mistakes and we don't want to make them again. We've gone through the divorce. We've gone through the child support court. We've gone through the paying alimony. We've gone through dividing half our assets. We've gone through having to move out, establish some other place. And the prospect of doing that again, the negative aspects of it, is really kind of a turnoff. I was dating this girl. We were together about a year, maybe a year and a half. And she just one day just put it to me and she was in her 40s, early to mid 40s, 42, 43. I can't remember now. And she was like, listen, I really want to be married. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I listen, I never would have. We had a great time together. She cooked. She was very good. We cooked together, went places, had a lot of good laughs, went on vacation, but she just was adamant on getting that ring.
And when a woman approaches a man like that, you take off. I've never proposed to a woman. So when I was 24 years old and I dated my wife, her parents found out and they were basically like, y'all get married. I didn't know. I had no idea. So I've never proposed. I've never been like, hey, would you be my wife? I didn't have that experience. So I dated a woman for 2.5 years. She immediately came to me and was like, listen, my parents didn't make it. I don't really believe in marriage. I just want a companion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. We dated for 2.5 years. Then I take her home to my family and my dad was like, how in the hell do you think you could bring her home and she see how great this family is and how much fun and she not want to be a part of it? And we come back home and she was like, I want to get married. So to my surprise, I'm just kind of like, whoa, where is this coming from? And we had a conversation. I said, listen, I'm not against marriage. I don't ever want to say I'm against marriage, but it's going to be exactly what I want. It sounds very cliche. I want to marry my best friend. That's what I want. And I asked her to do some things. She didn't feel that those things were as important and she wanted to move up the timeline. And I said, no, I'm about consistency. You can pretend and be anybody you want for 90 days, 120 days. I need to see you do this 2 or 3 years. And she was like, that's just too long. And I was like, I walked away. There was nothing wrong with the relationship. It's like, you are not going to paint me into a corner. I'm just not. And that is a testament to the work I've done on myself and been to therapy and knowing that, listen, my life is okay. I don't have to accept anything. Now, a younger Lamar would have accepted that and let a woman push him in the way that she wanted to. But as I've grown up and I know who I am and I know that I don't have to do these things. And that's what
marriage marriage at a certain age, because we're at, you're absolutely right. We're at this certain point where, you're dating for a year at our age. It's a long time. It's a long time you're making all these different moves and going on vacation and this, that, and the other, getting to know someone. But also, men who have been through this before understand. I'm sure it's probably the same thing for women, but we're speaking about. I want to sidetrack this. What men see when what women are doing wrong is a lot of times there's this front that goes on, and it's, let me just do this in order to get a ring. And when you start pushing that super heavy, super hard, it's a turnoff, because we know that what can happen. And I was just reading something. I should have clipped it. I didn't think about it. I was just reading something. Men love very hard. When we love, I mean, think about it. The things that you're asking a man to do, to be your protector and your provider, that means he's going to give his resources over to you. And that means if there's something going on at 2 a.m., he's going to get out the bed. He's going to put his life on the line for you. And what is it that he's going to get in return for that? And you want to make sure that this woman is really, really invested in you, not your money, not your status, that she's going to be there for you if you get sick or whatever. And so, we take longer to recover from divorces, and, our self-deletion rates and all this stuff. We love hard and we love strong. So we don't want to get fooled, bamboozled. We don't want none of that. And so, again, when you start pushing that super hard, super heavy, like I said, the girl I was with, I liked her. I would have been with her right now. But she kept, listen, it's marriage or nothing. We both had kids who were grown. Her daughter was in college, 19 or 20 or so. Mine are full grown adults. What are we doing here? Why can't we just rock like this?
So she loses a good man because she wanted to put her narrative above yours. That's what I'm saying is, like, since when is it wrong for women to just kind of go, what is wrong with this? If you're over the age of 50 and you've been married, you've raised your kids, why do you feel like you have to get married again? It's just like, I don't understand that. It's like, let it naturally happen. Become that man's peace. If you want to get married and that's your agenda, the woman that you were dating, what she should have did, she should have stepped it up a notch and be like, man, that you relied on her so much that you wake up one day and go like, God damn, girl, you treat me like a king. I can't leave this. That's how a man will start thinking. It's about peace. When you start nagging and pushing and have your own agenda, again, if you've never been married at this age, I don't know if you missed the boat, but you're going to have to do some things different because your way that you've been doing it ain't working. Everything that you've done up to this point, if you have not been married, scrap it because it's not working. So why not try something new with a man to reinvent yourself and say, hey, I'm going to give this a chance to be his companion, not going into it thinking I'm going to be his wife or bust. I'm going to be his companion. I'm going to be his peace. I'm going to be his friend. Whatever happens after that, it's gravy.
Last thing first, I want you to clarify something. You mentioned waiting for sex after a certain age was immature. She wants you to clarify. What do you mean by that? What did you mean by that?
What I mean by that is if you're a woman and you've been married and you have multiple children and all these things like that, and you're holding your vagina hostage, that's immature behavior. I mean, it's just you cannot repackage any gifts. So women should be selective in who they sleep with anyway. So this is not a thing of being selective or not being selective. A woman always has the choice. But if you're going into it saying, oh, I'm not going to do this because of, that's the mentality I'm talking about. You have every right to wait as long as you want. But if you're doing it out of spite, if let's say the first day y'all hang out and y'all have a great time and you walk home and he drops you off at your place and you are so aroused, but you stop yourself from doing something, that's on you. Who cares? Nobody's here to judge you. It's like, I don't understand that. And it's like, talk about casual sex. It's not casual sex if you've gone on multiple dates with somebody and you've been talking on the phone with them for 2 or 3 weeks. we're at an age right now is that time is more valuable than anything you possess. So if I've given you 4 or 5 hours of my time day, we texting and we going on dates and I'm invested.
Mm.
And you like me, I like you, we have fun. But you're going to go, hey, I got a 90-day rule. You're immature.
Based on our past experience, relationships, we become skeptics. How do we balance that with following our hearts? You know, that's a good question, man, because I all the stuff we're talking about, I wrestle with, right? I try to look at it from the girl I told you about. She had never been married. She wanted to be married. And that kind of pressed her, like, listen, I really, really want this. And at the same time, I'm a brother who's been married. And, you know, to go down that road, and again, the bait and switch that may happen, I'm not saying she would have done it, but who knows? And then I can hear the other side of the argument that the lady will say, I don't want to give all of my best years to someone for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe not best years, but whatever. And he never pulled the trigger. And I feel like as if I'm giving the milk away for free, and he doesn't not forcing him to buy the cow. So I understand that this is a dilemma. I'm not saying it's an easy thing.
So what I would say to you is that when you first met her and you knew she wasn't married, was there a conversation? Did you guys say, is this, how important is this, 1 to 10? Is this a deal breaker? That's what I would have led with. When I meet women that haven't been married with, like, I lead with that. Hey, listen, if we never get married, what's your deal breakers? Because if she had told me, hey, listen, I got to get married, then we probably wouldn't have dated a year going in like that. So it's like at 53, and I don't know how old she was, but at 50 plus years old, I'm not looking for marriage. Is not the number one bullet point. The number one bullet point is you being my peace. How can you be that? Because if you can't be peaceful, if you can't be my friend, if you can't be my companion, how can I even look at you as a wife? And that's something I didn't personally have in my first marriage. We loved each other. Love is great. But when it gets down to it, do we like the same things? Do we think the same way? Do we react the same way? And a lot of things we didn't. And that's something that we had to learn out. And the only way that works is that one person in a relationship has to go, that's your way. Okay. Okay. I give up to you. And most of the times it was me doing it. So after years of doing that, I'm like, man, all my dreams and my hopes and my wishes get pushed to the side, but we got to make everything you think valid and number one. And I'm just like, and that's just I'm not going to operate like that. So it's just, I tell women all the time, if you're married, have been married 10 plus years, so you really know what it feels like to be married, and whatever it didn't work, whatever the situation, what are you going to do different?
I want to appreciate Mr. Stu for that offering there. It's going to go towards my lunch. Anybody else wants to buy me lunch, I would appreciate it. I had the lady on here I go to. Y'all know I'm buying lunch. Y'all go check out the episode, man. Y'all go check out the episode. Some of y'all need this healthy living stuff. Let's see.
Go to Lotus. I want to see that one, man.
Lotus?
Yeah,
Lotus. Way down here.
Lotus Bloom. She said Lamar is the man who would sleep with you for years and then leave you for someone else just because. That's not necessarily true. I mean, there's some truth in it.
That's not very convincing, brother. Not necessarily.
There's a truth in it, but you gotta be compatible with me. I mean, it's just like I have had friendships with women, and some of them have been very meaningful. And for whatever reason, they change. They come out of that, damn, this woman did everything perfect for 90 days. And at some point during the time, it clicks. And I go, you were pretending the whole time. Like, and it's shocking, and then they get upset when I walk away. It's like, you've been playing a character this whole time. And then once it comes out, now I got to react to it. So it's like, I don't know. I've never had a woman wake up and just say, Lamar, this just is not working. I'm leaving. I have never had a one, even my wife. I left my wife. So it's like, women, I know that I'm a good man. I try to do the right things. I try to treat women right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a man. I build women up. Listen, I don't have problems relating to a woman. I was raised by a woman. But what I do see is the non-accountability, the non-reality checks. There are barriers in our life that looks at us and say, reality checks. Some women need sex much. Yeah, you have to. You have to have sex in your marriage.
No. She's saying she's not going to give it up until she's married. That's what she's saying.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
How's that working
So
out?
I want to ask you about that. I mean, a lot of ladies are. I mean, would you just not deal with a lady who's got that on the table, or? And I also want to ask Glorious Love. I want to ask, and her and anyone else who thinks this way about the morality thing. How long before a man has to marry you? Is it 6 months, 3 months? I mean, and how do you really get to know someone in that time frame, given that there's this bait and switch that often goes on? I mean, how do you navigate that as a woman? And it has, and what are your thoughts about that, Lamar?
I mean, you have every right to do whatever makes you feel good. I mean, I would say to her is, I don't know her age. I would ask her, how's that working out for you? I mean, you're not married, so it's like you can wait all day long. You can have these, listen, I could want a lot of certain things too, but when does reality come in? When does reality, trump whatever you're doing? He's like, listen, I wanted to go to the NBA, but at some point I had to look in the mirror and go, it's not a reality, Lamar. You probably have to go get a job. So it's just like we all at some point in this life are going to have to really look in the mirror and say, what is going to make you happy? And nobody's responsible for that. You got to really work on that. And if you want to be a wife, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a wife. So you have to be the best version of yourself to attract a man that wants to make you a wife.
I want to kind of back up here for a minute here. Let's talk about the hyper selectivity that's going on here. People think that this is just a young person thing. Oh, he's got to be such and such age. He's got to be such and such height, such and such money, square chin, fully bearded, all this other stuff. Speak to the reality of young people doing that and what we're running into in this day and time with people our age, I should say.
Let's start with young people first. Unfortunately, the young people believe that everybody is a multimillionaire. That is just, I don't get it. It's just, one of the things that just blows my mind is that let's just say you're an adult. Just man, woman, you're an adult. You can take care of yourself. You live on your own. You got a car. You got a job. Men do this, but women want to be praised for it. You're being an adult, taking care of yourself. So then, okay, a man says, hey, I like you. You like me back. Let's help each other out. Let's join our households. Now everything becomes 50-50. Now women are looking and going, I'm not doing 50-50. So hold on. You're telling me that if your bills are $5,000 a month and a man shows up and say, hey, baby, I love you. I'm going to take $2,500 of that from you. That's wrong. I don't know how you don't make that make sense, man. It's like back in the day when I was younger, that's what me and my ex-wife did. We put our eggs together and we grinded together. I don't understand why that's not a mentality now. Why is it, if you can't show up and you don't got it all, what do you mean? I don't understand that. Then what are you doing with your money? So that's one piece of it. That's a big fail there because that young people are getting that message all wrong. Over 35, the hyper selectiveness of women is through social media. They want this unobtainable man, and it's just like, and I seen a comedian one time. He's like, where is he? Where is this fictitious man that y'all want? And it's like, and how many girls do you know have them? Do any of y'all have a girlfriend that goes, hey, she got one of them 6'6", 6-figure guys. He's a unicorn. So there's a great percentage of women out here chasing this mythological guy. And then they get mad that when they find him, that he calls the shots. If you had 100 women texting you a day, you're not going to make the same decisions if one woman's texting you. Same thing goes for women. If when a woman is between her 20s and 30s, the amount of men that are charging at her is greater than what it is for a man at 20 to 30. But then as you move the field goal post from 30 to 40, it goes down a little bit and the man goes up. When you do it 40 to 50, the man goes up a little bit more. It's just the natural. We don't create these rules. It is what it is. And men play by the rules. Women don't want to play by those rules. So what I tell every man is, be the man in the 20%. Get as close to it as you can. Let's say you're only the 40%. You can make some decisions that you're not used to making. It's not a young woman thing. What I'm saying applies to, I date women. I can date from 25 to 65. And I've dealt with all kinds of women. And I've met some good women and I've met some not so good women. So it's just out there. It's up to the man to have a plan to work on himself so he can attract a good woman. That's the ultimate goal. You want a woman, but she's gotta be peaceful. She's gotta be feminine. She can't challenge you. She can't, do all these other things. And that's where most women are going to fight because you've been taught to be masculine.
I want to sum this up here. So we talked about being hyper selective. Talk about the time frames, materialism, overlooking good men. Too many Keishas running around out here. Women, the Keisha's not holding women accountable. Just mentioned the masculinity. I just want to sum that up a little bit. Let me get to Yoli's question here for Lamar. If women sleep with every man she feels connected to, but the relationship doesn't last as hoped, what will be her perception of you when you ask her body count? It's a good question.
True. I think women should be very selective. So, we're talking about meaningful relationships. I'm not talking about every guy that says hello to you. That's a different type of woman. We're talking about the natural progression of a relationship. You meet someone, they express interest, you express interest, and then the natural of a physical relationship should happen. Now it's up to the two parties to decide how soon that will happen. And the woman is 99.9% in control of that all the time. So at this age, I'm not asking women their body counts. I'm just not. I'm going on your character. Your character is going to tell me what your body count is. So I don't necessarily need that. Are they out there? Yes, those women are out there, but I don't know. I've done some work on myself that I hope that I'm attracting healed people, and I ask the appropriate questions that I can see if that woman's done some work on herself. And if she doesn't, and she doesn't know how to answer those type of questions, then I necessarily say I kind of lose interest quickly.
Let's see. I'm trying to get to some more stuff here. We got 97 or so people watching, 40 likes. Come on, y'all, hit the like button. I don't beg for donations for lunch and all that kind of stuff, although I could and should. But I really, really appreciate it if you just at least hit the like button. If you just pop in, just hit the like button. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Lorelei. Always a pleasure when you guys join in. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it here. What did we miss? Y'all let me know what we missed. I summed it up. Materialism, the masculinity problem, too many Keishas out here, time frame, overlooking good men. What else are women doing? A lot of toxic energy, giving into sex too soon. That was a good one. What else did we miss? And we're gonna wrap it up here. Let me know and y'all hit the like button while we're waiting for this here. What do you guys, you and Trey, you guys got a show this Wednesday, right? What are you guys talking about?
You know what? The good thing about Trey's show is that Trey filters all the questions and she does not let me know. I answer them raw, uncut. So, definitely, I am the co-host of Looking for Love. It is dating Generation X, bridging the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women. So again, I'm not a guy who wants to tear women down. I love building women up. I love seeing women, win at this. And the accountability is just that, the it's not fair. The standards of men and the standards of women, they're not equal. But yet we live in a world that everything should be and everybody wants it to be. And the hypocrisy of it is what kind of bothers me sometimes. So if men's feet get held to the fire, why is it wrong to do the same thing for women? Why does a man have to hold himself accountable and check himself at the door, but a woman emotionally can do what she needs to do? And I think at the age we are, that those rules are for young women. We're talking about, we're grown people. In some cases, some of us are grandparents, and you should be emotionally mature at this point. You should have done therapy. You should be able to articulate and speak and be able to communicate like a grown adult.
Let me speak to this suggestion here. Yeah, I do think you have it all wrong. I don't hear much men saying what you said as far as racially ambiguous. Black men want black women, even darker skinned women in different countries. Listen, you got to get rid of this mindset. I don't know any men. I don't know the men that y'all talking about. Now I've seen some actors. I think Kevin Hart said something crazy one time. Another rapper said something crazy about dark-skinned women or something like that. But the vast majority of men that I know of, that I run in with, don't care nothing about that. Dark skin, medium skin, light skin, hair, texture. Just be a nice person, right? And as long as you're being, we have suggested, the men should be the best version of themselves. Be the best version of yourself, and just love yourself. I mean, the natural hair will do it all the time. That's another key Keisha aspect, is these raptor finger claws and butterfly freaking eye stuff.
Yeah.
We don't. Most men just want you to love yourself, do the work, as Lamar just said, do the work, internal healing. Yeah, as dark skinned people, we got this complex about us that we all got to go through, but deal with it, work on it, and just love yourself. And if you can love yourself, you can love other people. You want to speak to that?
Listen, I'm a firm believer in the power of the gym. The gym gets rid of a lot of your problems, insecurities, problems. It builds your confidence. Listen, if you have a complex about your skin color, go get your body so tight. You will be getting attention like crazy that you'll be looking like, ain't nobody paying attention to your skin. It's like nobody paying attention to that. It's like, 9 times out of 10, you might not be in shape. 9 times out of 10, you probably haven't been to therapy. You're probably exuding some type of masculine energy. There are reasons that men will avoid you. And again, I think the new man today, and we're talking about a smaller percentage of men, and let's say the top 30%, these men are now waking up. I am one of them that did not know my value 10, 20 years ago, that I even had these choices or these options, or I could think this way, or even not demand or require to have a standard. Now I do, through social media, through listening to other men going, it's okay to be a man. It's okay to think this way. You do not have to always conform to the bad behaviors of this woman. You don't. Not every man has that choice, but I guarantee you, if you spend some time by yourself, you go to therapy, you go to the gym, and you get yourself a hobby that makes you money, you become one of that upper 30% of man. And you would be on the other side of the fence and you'll go, I see what this guy was talking about now. But most men are not going to do that kind of work. And if you do that work, put yourself in a whole new category. I tell you.
We'll probably leave this off here with this question about how do men know that they're in love, by Robbie Griffin. How do men know that? How do you know you're in love?
I know I'm in love when doing things for her brings me happiness. So if I know that if I can take her somewhere, give her an experience and make her smile, and that brings me happiness, because I'm a giver by nature. I like to see my partner happy. I want to fulfill them. I want to shower them. I want them to make them feel like, damn, he's into me. Once I start thinking that way, yes, I'm in love.
Yeah, and so we get these people who don't believe us. Yeah, Doctor, I'll speak for yourself. Women don't listen to men's word. They listen to their actions. Men do the same thing. When y'all tell us one thing and go after something, we want a nice guy. Okay, but the next thing you know, there's a pookie there. They listen across their actions when it comes to colorism and featureism. And then, no, they prefer thinner with the curly or straight textured hair. Lighter girls usually get chosen over the dark. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know them. I don't know them. I know brothers who love their dark-skinned sisters. I don't know them. So I can't tell you what other, and I know that this quote-unquote passport bro phenomenon. These guys are going to Panama, Dominican Republic, going to Africa. Some go to Colombia, some go to Thailand, the Philippines, and all. Yeah, that's true. But there's a substantial amount of them who are going to Africa and getting some African sisters, going to Panama and other places.
Why are they going? They're not going because of how these women look. They're going because of how these women act. It's a difference. These women are submissive. They're feminine, and women, Western women, think that that is weak. And men, unfortunately, they want to feel like a king. And today's Western man does not have that. Now, whether he deserves it or not, that's for you as a woman to decide. And every woman will say that she has it in and she's just waiting for the right man. Okay, I can't argue with you that. I agree that should be something that should be given once a man, shows those type of attributes. But the passport bros exist for one reason only. Them women are feminine. My boy just came back from Colombia and he was just like, yo, he said, you would not imagine what it's like over there. And I was just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah. You don't want to go. Yeah.
But I won't come back.
I've heard some brothers going to Guyana. I've heard that. So, I mean,
I think men
I'm not talking with. I'm not in a group chat with these guys. I don't know where they're going and all that, But I just know that. Listen, it's all over. My point is, love yourself, and you putting on certain features to try to enhance yourself is not going to attract the man you think he is, the man that you want to attract. I can guarantee you that. He's not going to attract the man that you think is going to attract. In fact, to the more successful brothers, it's going to repel them. It's going to because I don't talk to women who wear that.
On my Facebook dating profile, it says if you have baby hairs, swipe left. If you have big eyelashes, swipe left. If you have chest tattoos, swipe left. So it's there. It's like I don't want to deal with it. It's like I don't want to deal with that. So it's like you can find. Listen, women are the gatekeepers, and if women knew what other women didn't do, you guys would have the blueprint. But your girlfriends ain't telling you what they're not doing. They making it feel like that it's always the man's problem. In most cases, that man's doing some things wrong because of what he's lacking thereof. And it's just like too many times women don't study their men, and I've been in multiple relationships and very few women try to learn the man, say, what's his, and I listened to Cam Newton and his girl, I heard his girl talk about it. And she was just like, I studied him. Like I studied him, she's rubbing him until he falls asleep. And man, that's a level of treatment that most men never experience. And I'm not saying you're looking for a slave or something like that. It's just a woman that wants to take care of you. It's like sometimes, I think one of the things I've learned over the last couple of years is dating is like who loves you. It's like, man, I like her, but man, for some reason, this woman likes me a lot. So it's like, those are the women that you should give your time and energy to. It's not the ones that you got to keep calling. Hey, baby, what you doing? Hey, baby, what you doing? Don't be the bugaboo. Because if you bugging a woman, listen, you tripping. So it's like, sometimes I don't reach out to certain women to see if they come back and say, hey, I ain't talked to you in a day or so. How you doing? Oh, okay. I was on your mind. I stay away from the ones that don't. But men have to do that.
All right. So you guys got a show. I'm going to leave it off there, man. We've been on an hour and 34 minutes here. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.
Wise words as usual. I'm going to leave it off with Chandra's comment there. There's power in our femininity.
Absolutely.
If the ladies could really, really understand that, they would be winning. They would be winning. I've said it before. There's no doubt about it. The black woman would have every black man's attention. They understood the power of femininity. And yes, the gym is your friend. Walking is your friend. Staying away from the fried chicken and ice cream and hog maws and grits and all the stuff that we ate growing up. If you stayed away from that, you would have a much better interactions with men, and attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. So appreciate that, man. If you guys want to buy me some lunch, I would certainly appreciate it. Make sure that you check out the show. Where can I find the show at? Tell us where we can find the show
It's
at.
on the New You Nation. It's called Looking for Love. It's on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trey Kearney is the host. I'm the co-host, and we do bridging the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women.
I want to thank Mr. Stu for that. Blue Sapphire, who's a new member. Rhonda gifted five podcast memberships. I appreciate that. We are going to do a review of Dr. Umar Johnson's. He did an interview in Cleveland. I thought it was pretty good. I watched it today, but I want to kind of do a review with you guys. We'll do that this week. Dr. B and I are working on a new podcast. We're putting it up, getting the website together. I'm excited about it. It's about justice. What the heck is the name of it? Oh, faith in justice, right? So it's kind of a play on words, because he's got the faith aspect of it, my criminal justice background. So we're going to have faith in justice. We're going to talk about social issues, how we get the community together. He's going to come from a religious perspective. I'm going to come from the legal or law enforcement perspective. But all in all, we want to talk about helping the community. We're looking forward to it. We're going to start dropping episodes probably in July. So y'all make sure you check that out. And High Vibe is also some lunch money. I appreciate it. Generation Love, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all for checking out the episode. Let me just give another disclaimer here. We're not talking about every single woman, right? When we say women, we're not talking about every woman. We recognize that. And I can't speak for every man. Are there some men out there who are colorists? Absolutely. Are there men out there who are featurists? Absolutely. I just don't know them. And I know a lot of good men who are in collegiate spaces, who are police officers, who are upwardly mobile type of men, and we don't care nothing about that. We want us this nice, strong black woman who is feminine, who's fit, who's friendly, who can network and can make things happen for me, and I can make things happen for you. That's generally what we're looking for. So all this other stuff, I just can't see it. I just can't see it.
Right. I agree.
All right, y'all. You guys take care. Much love and peace. Take care.
Thank you.